Hey, good morning. Single Mom Explorer here. I am sitting here in my kitchen Saturday morning and it's pretty early. I've downloaded this little app, Mixcam, to try and show you the video that I was just watching. First, let me just say I love Gary Owens. He's hilarious. And I actually got to watch a video of his son doing like a little stand-up bit or whatever. I think he was like 17 and he killed it. He did a really good job. It was pretty cool. But anyway, this video is about Gary Owens video about what Drew Brees said about it's being disrespectful. He felt it being disrespectful for people to be kneeling during the national anthem, and how Gary said it and talked about it. It was hilarious. So I'm gonna see if I can play it and then you hear it. I don't know.
Well, Brees stepped in it. Whoa. Yesterday, man, when he said, I don't like people kneeling for the national anthem, it's disrespecting the flag, things like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Exactly.
I was just shaking my head like, what are you doing? It's almost mind-boggling.
It is.
That a guy that has been in the league that long with that many black teammates didn't realize how that would sound. And listen, I don't care if it's a soundbite. I know Drew Brees is not a racist. I know people say he's a racist. We know he's not. Let's be honest, he's not. A little out of touch.
Extremely out of touch.
But not racist. Because kneeling for the national anthem it only became disrespectful when the narrative changed.
That's right.
Of why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling.
Yes.
That's when it became disrespectful.
That's when it becomes disrespectful.
It was never.
Okay, so to watch that video, obviously you just go on YouTube and it's day 81. Subscribe to Gary Owens and day 81 of his lockdown bit, and it goes on for about 7 minutes, not long at all. But this is what I'm gonna put my headphones in if it's possible. I doubt it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. But this is what I feel. What I take on that. First of all, it's not disrespectful to kneel and not participate in the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance, in my opinion, because those forums or those traditions are traditions that we're not including us people of color, okay, first and foremost. So when the national anthem was penned, Africans in this country were slaves, and it did not include us at all in that composition. It wasn't about our freedom, about our home of the brave, because we had been taken from our homes, wherever they were in different parts of Africa or the Caribbean, and brought to the United States against our will. Okay, so that wasn't for us. So any brown person or person of color that owns that anthem and says, okay, this is for me, it's not for you. So it's not. As well as pledging allegiance to the country. Now, me personally, you can't help where you're born, where you're brought up, right? So you're born in America, you're American, right? However, that still doesn't remove the fact that, yes, people of color did not originate here if you are not a part of the Native American race, okay, the ones who were here from the beginning. So therefore, that means in order for you to pledge your allegiance to a country, to a flag, I would like to believe that you belong to that country, that you fit in, that you're accepted, that you are a part of it. And unfortunately, for people of color in the United States, we don't fit in here. We're not accepted here, and we are definitely not even second-rate citizens. We're probably even below that as a whole group, a race of people here in the United States. So, I firmly take a stand against pledging my allegiance, as well as reciting the national anthem. I don't do either. I don't teach my children those things, not because I feel some vendetta or like, what have you. Now, I'm not disrespectful, and I don't train my children to be disrespectful. What's going to happen is when these things are transpiring or they're happening, wherever you are, sporting event, school, you will stand and be respectful. You're not going to be playing with your toys, you're not going to be fidgeting, you're not going to be checking your cell phone while everyone else is doing, because that in itself is disrespectful. But what you can do is just stand there if you can stand. If you can't stand, sit there and be quiet. And that's a respectful of what other people have to say on the matter. But you don't tell a person that, oh, you're being a disrespectful person to the flag or to the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, or what have you, because you choose as a African American to not subscribe to doing those things. And frankly, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's always been. Another pet peeve of mine is how people of color also get so excited and celebrating and decorating their homes and flags and 4th of July. Okay, so the 4th of July celebrates whose independence? It wasn't people of color. It wasn't our independence. No. Was there a day that should have been created for our actual independence? Yeah. When we were actually freed as a group of people from slavery, it wasn't the day 4th of July took place. It wasn't the time. So for a person to blindly go and subscribe to these institutions in a way where it just promotes your oppression, like your state of mind, even it's funny, it's unbelievable, it's funny, and it's sad, because I'm not against partying. Love to party. It's my favorite thing to do, and I love to eat, and I love barbecue. It's fantastic. What I am against is ignorance and covering over. Right? Don't cover over what actually transpired. It is not an equal situation. It has never been. It wasn't created to be equal. The foundations of the country are the complete opposite, right? It wasn't created for the natives or the people of color. It was created for the white American people, or the whites that immigrated here to create a place for them, right? And we were brought in on that as the help, right? The unpaid help. The unpaid help for everything, to have their children, to nurse the children, to whatever, right? To build the buildings that stand around our country a lot today, right? Landmarks on us, right? But we get treated still as less than. And it really upsets me to hear people say, like, oh, even like Drew Brees. I like Drew Brees, right? I'm not all into like football to that degree, but I like it, right? But it's upsetting to me, and it just goes to show exactly how deep white privilege is. He's not a racist man. He's just not, right? I agree with you, Gary. He's not, right? But he's so far in his own world, which is understandable because that's his world. He doesn't have to be in our world. So to him, on the inside of where it's all great, like Gary says, looks good over here. I don't have any problems. I love the country, right? What's the issue? You're not able to step out of that and put yourself in another person's shoes. And that's the situation. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Understand that from the time we go out into the world, we're less than. The perception is. We are the ones afraid to get pulled over by the police. We're having to tell our children, okay, if you get pulled over by a cop, do not fidget, do not move. Make sure you keep your hands on the steering wheel. Be calm. Don't do anything. And yes, sir, yes, ma'am, so that hopefully you don't get shot or killed or drugs planted on you. That's the story we give our teenagers when they get behind a wheel. Do you, as white Americans, do the same thing for your children? Do you do that? Is that a part of your lecture to them when they get the car keys? Because if it isn't, you don't understand why people are out protesting. You don't understand why we're so upset. as a race of people, because you have to step out of who you are, out of your sheltered existence, and put yourself in our position. Put the shoe on your own foot. If it was you, how would you feel? If people were murdering you and locking you up and doing things to you with no just cause. I mean, look at all the things that are coming up. We've got this issue with the cops in Boston. First off, aside from if it being an issue of race, clearly my concern would be how not rap tight these cops are. Clearly you're not intelligent. Aside from being a possible racist, you're not intelligent. You have your own body camera on, sirs. Yet you plant evidence and get your own self in trouble. That's an indication that you're not rap type. You need to work on that. You shouldn't be a cop, like, at all. Like, you don't even know how to, like, not incriminate yourself. But thankfully for technology, you're caught. Just a little another rant on that. First off, why are you allowed to turn off audio and video on your cameras on duty? That should be something that you're not able to do. That could possibly alleviate a lot of the unfair treatment that people are getting. If I can turn off the body cam when I pull you over, turn off the audio, then I can do whatever I want and then turn it back on like, oh, I don't know if it went out. No, okay, we're not doing that. So to make it fair, leave them on and take away that control. You get it assigned to you, it's turned on, and you can't turn it off. It's not in your care. It's in like Internal Revenue's office or server or something, like they control it. Whatever, but that's what needs to be done. Let's make things fair. Back to Gary. Gary, you're awesome. I love your spin on this, and I appreciate how you being in the situation that you're in. I know that's probably really awkward, right, for you. You have a biracial family. Your wife is African American, and you have biracial children, right? You may have to have that discussion with your kids. Like, hey, still, you don't look completely white. So maybe, you may have to be in this situation. That's got to be terrifying for you, right? But you also have to sit and kind of be in the midst of all of the stuff that you see happening. I'm sure your wife has some stories. I bet you if you ask her, she's has some experiences that you may know about. You even talked about that in one of your stand-ups where they were asking her about being in first class, and was she in the wrong spot because maybe she couldn't afford it because she was black, whatever. That was a good stand-up, by the way. But that stuff happens to us all the time. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. Do you live in this neighborhood? Why? Because I'm black, I shouldn't be able to be here? That's what happens to us every day. Every day. And that is why, Drew, you need to apologize. You need to go sit down somewhere, and you should be talking and with your friends who are black and getting a clue, getting caught up to speed and not being out of touch. That's all I have to say on the matter. Completely ridiculous. Single Mom Explorer out. Thanks.